Hello everyone, welcome to another video. So today we're going to be talking about disappointment in photography, how to avoid it, and how to deal with it as well. So this morning I was on a shoot at Bondi Beach, and I had some specific shots in mind that I wanted to get of Iceberg's pool, but the conditions weren't right for those photos, but I still went ahead and tried to shoot those photos. And because of that, it led to some disappointment in the shoot. Now, I try to be quite an adaptive person, adapt to the conditions that I've got and shoot the scene the best way that suits those conditions that I've got on the day. This morning, I was so determined to try and photograph this scene because it's a photo that I've always wanted to get, but the conditions obviously were no clouds whatsoever, which didn't actually make the scene pop the way I wanted it to. Eventually, I kind of realized that I was getting annoyed and that the shoot wasn't going really as planned. So I decided to move on from that spot and move a bit towards the beach. And I eventually actually came across a nice scene with a fisherman in the foreground, kind of in the foreground, more mid-ground, but he was my main subject, and here's that photo. And I mean, I liked this shot, but it still wasn't really what I was looking for and hoping for the shoot, and it still disappointed me quite a bit. So after that, I kind of realized that shooting the scene as a whole wasn't going to work, and I was going to have to find some more intricate details in the scene in order to make the shoot worth it. So after I shot that scene of the fisherman, I kind of realized that it wasn't what I was hoping for really, and that I can't just keep shooting this one scene because obviously I'm going to miss the whole sunrise. So I decided to look at the scene more intricately. So I saw below me a nice rock sculpture that someone had made the day before, and I kind of saw quite a bit of potential in it, and I noticed when I got down there some nice gaps in the rocks that I could frame the sun through. And it actually led to some nice shots, and this was great because these shots worked for the scene that I had, which was absolute blue sky, and it was harsh light, and I could blur the background, which was the beach, and have the rock sculpture in the foreground as the main focus. And the thing with me is, I try to be quite adaptive, but ever since I started photography back up again in June, I think I've started to look at the scene in more of a landscape photographer's point of view, which is not noticing the intricate details, but kind of dismissing them and not really thinking too much about it. But I think that today this shoot has taught me that I need to be more adaptive and that I need to look at the scene more intricately, and that no matter what conditions you've got, there's photos to be had as long as you look at the scene closer. So about 20 minutes into the shoot, I was feeling quite disappointed and annoyed with myself, and it was disappointment in myself, but it was also disappointment with the conditions that I had. And you know, starting the day feeling disappointed is never a good thing. Just all day you feel like crap. And so I never want to feel disappointed in myself when it comes to photography. I do this because I think I'm good at it, or I know I'm good at it, and I enjoy it and I love it. I never want to feel disappointed in myself or disappointed in my ability when it comes to photography, because it's something that I do because I love it. But the thing is, with landscape photography, you are gonna experience disappointment in it. It's just a part of it. You can't get around that. It's the way you adapt to conditions that you've got that will set you apart from other photographers who just sit there shooting the same scene over and over and over again, hoping to get the right conditions. So to sum it up, the best way to avoid disappointment in photography is to be more adaptive to the conditions that you've got, and instead of working against the scene, work with the scene. So shoot the images that work well with the conditions that you've got. Now, I understand that can be quite tough sometimes because people do a specific niche in photography, but I found shooting that rock sculpture a lot of fun, and if the conditions wasn't the way they were today, then I wouldn't have shot that image. which means I would have actually missed that image and never have been able to get it because the rock sculpture probably was knocked down later on that day. Now I think I'm going to leave this video here. Thank you all so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do consider subscribing. I'm normally out on location, things like that, but the weather lately has been really bad for landscape photography, so I haven't done one in a while. But I'm hoping to do another one soon, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.